Siamo con Tony Granger, Global Chief Creative Officer di Young Rubicam, a Milano per una visita di cortesia e di lavoro. Thanks for coming, Tony. The first question is, we're just back from Cannes. How did you see advertising, communication, and everything that happened, and what did register with you in Cannes?
Well, Cannes, I've been going to Cannes for about 25 years now, believe it or not. And after 2007, it fundamentally changed because more and more clients started going, which I think is a brilliant thing. I think if you take your client to Cannes and you sit and you deep dive their category with them, and you find out what the norms are in that category, and you find out how everyone else is behaving in that category, it really helps you improve the work with that particular client, because you both come back with a view of what great is. Mm-hmm. You both, because the word great is used so often, oh, that's great, that's great, that's great. And actually, our business is capable of producing mounds and mounds of very, very average work. It does help to have your client and you having the same definition of what great is, because then you know what to aim for. Cannes this year also felt different from many other years because there were more media people there than ever before. More companies focused on taking data and analyzing data for clients. And it had more, more categories than ever before. So it really felt like, for me, that Cannes had kind of grown up, and Cannes had become more important than ever before. 25% of delegates at Cannes this year were clients. So that kind of fundamentally changes the festival. And it's also really a reflection of what our business is going through and how our business is changing and how, consumers' media habits are changing. And really it reflects that. So I always come back from Cannes very exhausted, because, it's a very, very intense week. The days are very, very long. And because there's so many interesting people to go and listen to, and so many different opinions, that I find myself having to schedule myself time to actually go and see the work.
Right. This year there was the Innovation Festival has been moved to a separate location, so it was 2 days all around innovation. Have you seen that, and what's your main takeaway of companies doing innovation, not just agencies or media, but there were proper companies and automakers and data analytics companies, whatever. And what's your main take on the innovation side this year?
Well, the festival started off as an advertising festival, but now it's evolved into a creativity festival. So anything where creativity touches it is kind of relevant for the show. Innovation is obviously a very, very interesting category, and it was put into its own day, its own festival, actually with data, the use of data. So it was a kind of, the evening was about technology and the future and how you take data and how, amazing people are using data to create innovation. Innovation really is a key for all of us to use and lean into. And innovation can really help with a client's brand. It can help with extending a client's brand from a an emotional point of view as well as from a business point of view. The innovation that won the Grand Prix was extraordinary. You know, there's so many people out there without addresses. You know, so many people living in shanty towns where it's literally impossible to find them. And what the innovation company did was it's carved the world out into squares of 3 foot by 3 foot, I believe, tiny little squares, and attached 3 words to those squares. So now you can find anybody, anywhere in the world.
Right. One thing about data and creativity. In the past, research about consumers, focus groups, and statistical data has been used and misused a lot for creative purposes. With the explosion of data and big data, what's happening now? How can you use that data in a proficient way, in an efficient way, in applying it to creativity and to communication?
Well, okay, so the old school way of looking at data is research, right? And at Y&R, you know, we believe that, you know, the kind of old school research methodology of, you know, bringing in a whole lot of people into a boardroom and trying to get their opinions about stuff doesn't work, because they'll give you what they think they should be saying. So, you know, bring a mother into a room with other mothers in a boardroom and ask her about her children. Her children will be the best children on the planet, right? Go out and hang with her, you know, go and buy groceries with her, go and experience life with her, and then you'll really see what she thinks about her children. She still loves them, but there's a whole other side to it as well. So we believe in exploring. We call that exploring. We send our planners out into the real world to discover truths for creatives. And we have a very strong belief. I personally have a very strong belief in planning. A great planner can reveal an insight, can reveal a truth for our creative people to then create content around, right? And if data is used to optimize an idea, then data is a great thing, right? If data is used to make decisions for you on a creative idea, then probably not the great thing. I honestly think that the discussion of, you know, is data a creative killer or is data a creative enabler, I think that's just kind of irrelevant. It's the way that you use data, and it's the way that you optimize data, you know, to fine-tune your, you know, use data to fine-tune and optimize your message.
Right. Does this call for different people, different professionals in an agency like Y&R or any other agency? And how do you go and find them? You probably need a more analytical and mathematical mindset rather than, you know, just a creative one. How can they be combined?
Oh, I hate that question. Just a creative mind. You know, in today's world, you need creative minds more than ever before. Mm-hmm. Data has always been around. Data is just becoming more live, real-time data. Mm-hmm. And you need people. We've always needed people in our business to go out and find insights, right? Now, whether you explore, you send planners out, or whether you have people trawling real-life data, right? It's the same thing. So you've always needed strategic minds to quantify data and to make it relevant to creative people and to marketers. You've always needed that. Now, as our world evolves, as the kind of social world evolves, you just need people that understand that. You need people that aren't afraid of it. You need people that use it, all the time. So, do we need more analysts? Do we need less creative people? Is not really the right question. It's where do we find people that intuitively understand this? Mm-hmm. And the answer to that is that, the internet is not a new thing, right? It's been around for a very long time. Millennials understand it instinctively. And people that are, inquisitive about it and are excited about it understand it intuitively too. So advertising has always looked for people that were inquisitive about the world, and advertising has always relied on people who love human behavior, and it's the same now. Our quest still is to discover a truth. Our quest still is to create content around that truth that connects to our clients, our clients' audience. And that's the same mission that advertising has had the whole way, the whole time.
Right. About how has since the mission is always the same, how are the ways of reaching this mission, this objective, changed in the last few years? For you as a global creative officer, how have you deployed the tools for these missions all over the world, and specifically in Italy, if you can tell us?
Of course. There's I don't like the word digital. Because it implies, and I also don't like the word above the line, below the line, online, offline. I don't think people out there consider, Facebook digital. I think the word digital implies it's kind of a specialty, and it's a sidebar, and it implies that there's traditional as well as digital. Facebook has got a bigger population than the population of China on it every day, right? That is not a sidebar thing. That is a mainstream platform that is very engaging, and it's a mainstream platform where a lot of millennials get their information from. There's a lot of video that's shared on that, a lot of film that's shared on that. So again, you need people that understand that, and you need people that engage on those kind of platforms every day. And those platforms are popping up all the time. Periscope is a new platform that is terrific, and I'm sure that Palo Alto and all the hundreds and thousands of startup companies in Israel are finding new amazing ways of us connecting and sharing information with each other. And of course, we'll jump on that. And of course, we'll try and use that for marketing. Of course. That's what we did with advertising when it first started, with radio when it first started. As these platforms become important, we have to use them, because that's where our audience is.
Well, the rate of adoption in different countries changes a lot. So there's always slow learners, there's fast-moving countries. How would you say Italy fares on this kind of scale, if you want?
Well, I think if you want a very in-depth Italian perspective, you should ask Vicky. What I can tell you about this agency is that we have strengths in all platforms. And Vicky has a group of creative people and a group of strategists that are strong in all media. So clients can come to this agency and they can feel quite secure in the fact that They won't be brought, above the line, or below the line, or, online or offline executions. They'll be brought ideas that connect, and ideas that share, and ideas that are interconnected on multiple platforms. And that's what you want an agency to do.